In this video, I'll be talking about 10 bad eating habits for your kidneys, habits so terrible they're practically war crimes against your kidneys. Seriously, if your eating habits resemble what I'm about to show you, let's just hope your health insurance is better than your food choices. Don't miss my number one pick, because that bad habit is enough to undo all the good things you've ever done for your kidneys. Bad habit 10 is an extremely common food choice that's terrible for your kidneys: using Celtic salt. Want to know why Celtic salt is bad for you? It's been noticed that more and more people are sprinkling Celtic salt on their food. But who told you this stuff is good for you? Celtic sea salt. Those annoying influencers are out here convincing you that Celtic salt is some sort of holy grail. And I get their perspective. Salt is awesome. It's awesome if you're an influencer. Imagine selling regular table salt to people for $30 just because it has a fancy name. If you're buying Celtic salt, you're not just throwing money out the window, you're also throwing your health away. All salt is salt. So I don't care if it's Himalayan salt, pink salt, golden salt, blue salt, or Celtic salt, salt is salt. And you know what's just as bad as Celtic salt? Number 9, forgetting to use spices. Worried that without Celtic salt your food will taste like cardboard? There's an alternative, and trust me, forgetting this would be a massive mistake. Spices, of course, can be your kidney's best friend. Take chili, for example. It's inversely associated with chronic kidney disease, CKD, meaning people who consume more chili have a lower risk of CKD. Then there's ginger, which reduces inflammation, improves blood circulation to the kidneys, and supports digestion. It can fight inflammation-related conditions tied to CKD. Cinnamon powder helps control diabetes. Piperine is a powerful antioxidant. Garlic lowers blood pressure, and the list goes on, because most spices offer some health benefits. So, next time you're tempted to reach for that Celtic salt, or worse, some junk food that'll make your kidneys beg for mercy, remember to check your spice rack first. Number 8, using random kidney supplements. Honestly, there's a reason your doctor gives you that look, the look that says, "Did you really just do that?" every time you admit to taking some magical kidney pill. And no, it's not because Big Pharma and Big Supplement are battling it out in a cage match for your wallet. New kidney supplements marketed to patients are popping up everywhere. Every day, another kidney cleanse, kidney support, or kidney health booster hits the shelves. These kidney supplements are showing up faster than internet conspiracy theories. And every time a patient tells me they've started taking one of these mystery blends, I can't help but wonder, is their blood test result off because of chronic kidney disease, CKD, or is it the bizarre supplement they bought online? Now, these patients are genuinely confused. They'll ask, "But doctor, this says it's for kidneys. How can it be bad for my CKD?" Well, not all kidney problems are the same. Some people have chronic kidney disease, while others, many others, are just dealing with a one-off urinary tract infection, UTI, or kidney stones. Most of these supplements are targeted at the latter group. Here's an example. This one's called Kidney Cleanse by Dr. Bo. You'd think it's a godsend for someone with CKD, right? Wrong. Let's take a closer look at the ingredients. Oh, cranberry extract? That's for preventing UTIs, you might not need it. Then there's birch leaf, buchu leaf, goldenrod, horsetail, and juniper berry, all of which are mainly diuretics. Sure, they might be fine for someone with a UTI or kidney stones, but if you're already on prescription diuretics for CKD, they could be disastrous for your kidneys. And don't forget the grand finale, Chanca piedra. only useful for kidney stones. And cassia cinnamon powder? Now, if you're using cinnamon to control diabetes, you need Ceylon cinnamon, not this cassia junk that can wreck your liver faster than alcohol. So now you see why doctors break out in hives when they hear about these supplements. Not all kidney problems are created equal, and these supplement brands aren't exactly slapping warning labels that say, "Not for CKD patients," because, well, that might hurt sales. On to the next bad habit. Number 7, eating dried fruits. When it comes to fruit, remember this: everything's fine until you decide to turn a perfectly good peach into a raisin. Why? Because dried fruits are basically potassium with extra potassium on top. So, bananas are fine, but dried apricots? Nope. Here's the truth: most fresh fruits and vegetables that are high in potassium are still generally allowed for CKD patients. But, as with all good things in life, moderation is key. Sure, eating a banana or an avocado might nudge your potassium levels up a little, but that's okay. They're full of vitamins, minerals, fiber, and other good stuff. But dried apricots, raisins, prunes, these tiny troublemakers have 5 times the potassium of a banana and none of the benefits. When fruit gets dried, it's like it says, "Let's ditch the nutrients. Just keep the potassium." So, while most fruits are healthy, remember that there are exceptions. Number 6 on our list is eating grapefruit. Folks, there's probably only one fruit that's bad for most patients, even when eaten fresh from an organic farm: grapefruit. But why would a fruit that looks harmless like an orange be bad for the kidneys, you might ask? Well, it turns out grapefruit is the bad guy in the fruit world. It looks harmless, but it has a dark side. In fact, this fruit doesn't just have a problem with 1 or 2 types of medication, it has a beef with nearly all medications. As we can see, grapefruit can interact with nearly all types of medications. For example, it interacts with statins, calcium channel blockers, medications used by transplant recipients, prostate medications, opioids, and really, the list is longer than a CVS receipt. Grapefruit contains a sophisticated compound called bergamot tin, which disrupts an enzyme in your liver called cytochrome P450. This enzyme is like the cleanup crew that comes in after your medication has done its job, ready to sweep them out of your system. But when bergamot tin shows up, it's like the cleanup crew decides to take a nap, leaving all those drugs hanging around longer than they should, turning your morning routine into a medication roulette game. Now, number 5 might be worse than those dangerous fruits: not eating enough fruits and vegetables every day. Perhaps the biggest challenge of living with kidney disease is dealing with the buildup of harmful toxins like creatinine, urea, and nitrogen in your blood, which cause symptoms of kidney failure. Normally, your kidneys would filter them out, but when you have CKD, you need to find other ways. Did you know there's another way to eliminate these toxins? Through your intestines? Your intestines can help detox your blood and improve your kidney health, as long as they're working properly. This is something a large meta-analysis found, meaning it's not just a theory, it has been observed in a large number of patients. Unfortunately, many CKD patients still don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, which means their intestines are slacking off. Without enough fiber, particularly soluble fiber, your intestines won't function properly, and your kidneys will pay the price. So, please do your kidneys a favor and eat vegetables, unless you want your intestines to become a toxic clog. Next is number 4. Let's go back to excess salt and potassium a bit to talk about a bad habit that combines 2 kidney enemies. Number 4 is using sodium-free salt substitutes like Morton No Salt or No Salt. Have you ever heard of those sodium-free salt substitutes? On paper, they're great. They fool your taste buds into thinking you're still enjoying the salty flavor without the sodium. You see, someone in the lab discovered that potassium chloride, an ion compound made of potassium and chloride, tastes salty like sodium chloride, which is your regular table salt. In fact, most people tend to have too much sodium and too little potassium, so they switch from regular salt to no salt or no salt, and boom. Their sodium intake drops, potassium goes up, and their blood pressure improves. Unfortunately, however, for people with CKD, potassium levels can get dangerously low. I can't recommend using these substitutes, as they could worsen the existing potassium issue. Remember, if it's in regular fruit, potassium can be fine, but if it's in a supplement or dried fruit, it's better to avoid it. Next is number 3, let's talk about something else that you might be better off avoiding. Number 3 is foods with a high calorie density, especially if you are diabetic or overweight. Okay, guys, not to brag, but I've been on a diet recently, and I've lost a bunch of weight without actually dieting at all. Maybe I'm bragging a little, but you see, my diet is an effort-free one, and it's working. What's my secret, you ask? It's very simple. Replace all the calorie-dense foods you eat with low-calorie, nutrient-dense foods. That's a fancy way of saying, get rid of processed foods and replace them with fruits and vegetables. So, that's exactly what you want to do if you're having trouble losing weight. Now, when most people think of calorie-dense foods, their minds will immediately go to sugar and overly processed grains. However, there's one type of food that's even more calorie-dense, and it's everywhere: foods that are high in fat. Yes, I know some fats are good for you, but let's be honest, most people are consuming more oil, butter, fried foods, restaurant meals, cheese, and nuts than their bodies need or want. Remember, 1 tablespoon of olive oil per meal is healthy, but if you're consuming an entire bottle in a week. Next is number 2, a bad habit for those struggling to maintain their weight. Okay, do you remember what I said 5 seconds ago about not being able to lose weight without eliminating most of the fat from your diet? If your problem is not being able to keep weight off, you need to do the complete opposite of what I just said. So, what you want to do here is focus on calorie-dense foods, but only those that won't harm your kidneys. No Big Macs and fries. What you can do if you're lacking nutrition and losing muscle mass due to progressing stage CKD, chronic kidney disease, is add olive oil to everything you eat, as it's very calorie-dense, and calories are what make the difference between losing and gaining weight. Speaking of calories, add seeds to your smoothies, eat bread, pasta, and pizza every day, especially if you have access to high-protein flour-based foods. Use honey, add spreads, even margarine is fine. Basically, you want to get as many calories as possible for every bite so you don't have to eat more to maintain your body weight. Remember, your body doesn't know how many calories you're getting each meal, it just knows that the food you eat is stretching your stomach. What could be worse than losing valuable muscle mass and, somehow, damaging your kidneys as it leaves your body? Our number 1 is eating too much protein. When it comes to managing kidney disease through diet, protein is always the first thing to focus on, and the reason is clear. Following a low-protein diet is key to preventing or even reversing kidney disease. There are studies confirming that even patients in stage 4 and 5 can reverse kidney disease if they follow a low-protein diet. But unfortunately, the type of diet a stage 4 CKD patient needs to follow contains less protein than the average vegetarian diet. You need to eat even less protein than a vegetarian. So, what should you do? The best approach is to be very clear about how much protein you're eating every day. So, you should count your protein. There are two ways to do this. First, you can ask a nutritionist to create a meal plan for you that you will follow. That's what I always recommend because it's easier. And you can also educate yourself. You can learn which foods contain protein and how much protein they have. Then, you can measure everything you eat and use an app like Chronometer to ensure you're within the correct range for protein and other nutrients. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. God bless all of you. Goodbye.